Yo, Counter Tap podcast with myself, Daps. So I just thought, do you know what? Before I start, hit the like, subscribe button, share, all of that good stuff. I just thought I'd quickly come and give you something very, very good, very, very, very quickly, because I've actually recorded a podcast that I was gonna put out for you guys today with a player, but I'm gonna put that out. Not helpful, is it? I'm gonna put it out on during the week, next week, so maybe Monday or Tuesday next week. I'm gonna put that one out instead. So it's all done. It's not one that I'm saying I'm hoping that's done. It's recorded, but like I said, I'm just gonna put it next week because I'm away next week, so I'm not gonna be able to do any content. So I thought at least in the meantime, let me give a little something now. But where do I start? Do you know what? What's really been irking me, if I'm being totally honest, and yes, I know, guys, I didn't do a breakdown of the Arsenal match and Chelsea losing over the weekend, and those things will come. Well, hopefully in this video, probably. But I think one of the main stories. In fact, no. Let me just quickly say. Obviously, Arsenal beat Manchester United 3-1, and if I'm looking at that performance, it was a very, very good performance. I'm not really going to do too much because it's now Thursday and we've had enough breakdowns of the match. But what I would say in regards to that is that I'm not really how can I put this? What I would say is that I think the performance from Arsenal was they did enough to win the game. They definitely deserved to win the game, but I do think that Manchester United were there for the taking. I think that because of the way Arsenal were playing and Arsenal sat back of them, it allowed for a much closer game. And if Garnacho, if that goal goes in and it's not offside, and we're talking margins here, we're talking a completely different thing. And then it would have been like Arsenal got it wrong, Mikel Arteta got it wrong. So I do think that as they as the season goes on, I'm hoping for a bit more momentum. I'm hoping that Arsenal start, don't just drop off and allow Man United and other teams to just, build into games. Like, they need to just be ruthless. So obviously Declan Rice got his goal, great moment. And if I'm being totally honest, outside of the goal, he was honestly like really, really good. There were a couple moments, especially in the first half, where he's just broken up play, slide tackle, crunchy tackles, wonderful, and he set us on our way to attack. And I'm like, that is what we got him for. And it's one of them ones where it's just like an instant just break up play. It's just an instant switch from defense to attack, and it's those moments where you look at it and you think to yourself, yes, we finally got a player who can do that. We finally got a player who can break up play in such a way, because Partey's good with like intercepting and in regards to his manipulation of the ball, but he hasn't got that what Declan Rice has got. And honestly, I'm not going to make this a Declan Rice love channel, but he's a top player, and it was fitting that he got the goal because he played well. I think obviously Havertz didn't have a good game as well. And you know what? Havertz doesn't help himself when he makes mistakes like that led to Rashford's goal with that sloppy pass. Like, those things don't help. I'm someone where I'm just like, just let the guy play. I think Arteta's killing Havertz by starting him. I think a lot of people probably would have patience or more patience with Havertz if he wasn't starting every game from the start ahead of players who should be playing ahead of him. And that's not helping him. So I think if he was to start off on the bench, come off the bench and whatever, I think people would be able to stomach it a bit more. But when games aren't going your way and you need a bit more, and he's on the periphery of the game and he's not really contributing much, it's killing. It's killing. It's killing him. So Arteta just needs to take him out a bit and start other people and play other people, and then I think allow him, grace to actually come on and earn his spot. Whereas right now, I don't feel like people feel like he's earned his spot, and to be honest, he hasn't. He hasn't. So that needs to stop. But yeah, it was just a really, really good win. I'm glad Jesus got his goal as well. Sat down Dallo, disgusting. But in the aftermath of that, this is the main thing I actually wanted to talk about. In the aftermath of that, obviously they asked where Jadon Sancho was, and Ten Hag's come out and said he hasn't been performing well in training or something like that, and it's not been good enough in training. And then Jadon Sancho has obviously hit back. Right. My thing with that is that I'm not having what Ten Hag did there. I think it's one thing to criticize a player, but I think when you're criticizing a player who is already having a bad time at the club, who since he's come, he was bought for a big price tag and it hasn't really worked out for him. I think by doing that, especially in the aftermath of the game against one of your rivals, I think it just opens the door to just so much more. It doesn't just stop there. And since then, there's been a pile on Jadon Sancho. Like the comments in the media have singled him out, and he's just become this, not almost like a villain. Now we're talking about he's got a bad attitude at training and whatever, and I don't like that. I think that the media know what they're doing. I think that for it was just only a couple of weeks ago, or however long it was, when the media kind of had to, hold their tail between their legs because of the whole Dele Alli situation, and now it's almost like Ten Hag's comments in regards to his performances have kind of opened the door for them to do the same thing to Sancho, and I don't like that. I don't like that all of a sudden we're talking about his attitude, but his attitude's never been a problem. But all of a sudden, he's got a bad attitude, and we know what it is. We know what it is, and I don't like that. I don't like that. So that needs to stop. I think that people who are criticizing him for speaking back, like why, like this ain't. And listen, there's been many times where managers have said something about players, but if he in that moment felt like he's actually been performing well and he's actually being used as a scapegoat, he has every right to stand up for himself, because you can't just be throwing these things out there, especially when these things stick. I've spoken to so many players on this platform where a manager has said one thing about them, and all of a sudden they've been labelled as that, and he has every right to stick up for himself. And he wasn't disrespectful. He said all he wants to do is give his all to the team. He just said he won't be a scapegoat. That's it. So to have this big conversation about his attitude and his ability and whatever else, it's not on. So I think people need to just allow it. People need to just stop and give him some grace. Yes, we can talk about has he been performing the best since he's got to United? No, he hasn't. Has he set the world alight? No, he hasn't. But what we're not going to start doing is assassinating his character. We're not going to start looking at him and making it anything other than football. Like, why are we talking about his attitude? Especially when it's never been a problem before, but all of a sudden there's a problem. And I'm not with it, man. Like, and United as a club right now, I just think it's just a mess. And this ain't me speaking as an Arsenal fan. I'm speaking in general. Obviously you've got the Mason Greenwood saga, and obviously it's not United, but I think it's the way that they've handled that situation, which was a mess. Now you've got the whole problem with Anthony, and there's things coming out about the doctor sending someone around there to a club official send the doctor around to Anthony's house to sort out or whatever it was. And now you've got this whole Jadon Sancho issue. I think there's just too many things going wrong, and then you've got the Glazer thing that is always lurking in the background. Do you know what I mean? And I just think there's too many things going on at that club right now, and they need to sort it out. I think it doesn't help when you got a manager who throws players under the bus. That doesn't help. So Man United just need to sort it out. And like I said, this ain't even me as an Arsenal fan. I'm just talking in general. It's not a good look. No wonder why your bloody share price is going down when the club is a mess right now. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Sorry if it seems like I'm like flying through this video. I've got a plane to catch. So I'm I'm just kind of really just trying to get through this and give you guys the content. Also, while we're here, yeah, speaking about Man United players, another outrage. I mean, more outrage was happened when more outrage happened when Harry Maguire got selected for the um, England squad. Now, Rio Ferdinand has said that left up to him, players like if he was Ward Prowse, he'd just retire because they're taking liberties, and it's the truth. You cannot come and say this player has always done well for me, and players need to be playing at their clubs and whatnot. But then go and pick, but then leave out Ward Prowse or no, you know what? Not even so much Ward Prowse, but Sterling. Leave out Sterling. Sterling has started the season well. Has started the season as well as any other player in the Premier League in that England squad. He's always done well for England. So as by your yardstick, as Rio said, Sterling should be involved, but he's not. But yet you still go and play Harry Maguire. Do you know what I mean? And then you want to say that in those positions, there's not an embarrassment or riches. But how is that's never going to change unless you actually play players who are playing in those positions, who are capable, but you're not giving them chances because you're just giving it to Harry Maguire. Calvin Phillips, what's your reasoning behind Calvin Phillips? Do you know what I mean? And the good thing for Calvin Phillips is that Harry Maguire has taken all the attention away because, yes, he's also been picked, but everyone's talking about Harry Maguire, why is he being picked? But Calvin Phillips, and he's a really, really good player, but why is he in the squad? It's not like there's a shortage of options in that position. So you cannot just keep picking like your favourites and then leaving out other players and giving excuses for those things. Ollie Watkins should 100% be in that squad, but he's not in the squad. Started the season well. He's done well for England, and I think he should feel hard done by. Do you get what I'm saying? So you got him, and then you got which was the other one I just said? Oh yeah, so back to James Ward-Prowse. Like, you're taking liberties. You're actually taking liberties. So I don't like that. I think that England, to be honest, it should be for a lot of them players. It should be like, yes, I'm proud. I've earned the spot. But no matter how you play, if Gareth Southgate doesn't like you, you're not going to play. You're not going to even be selected. We saw it from before when he just refused to pick Maddison. We saw it before when Grealish wasn't even getting a look in. Do you get what I'm saying? When these players deserve, because he's always got his boys. So as long as you're one of Southgate's boys, it's looking like you're safe. But if you're not one of Southgate's boys, then boy, it's a toss of a coin, and he probably will give you a game or give you a call up when the media just kind of plows in on him. So yeah, I don't really like all that. And should players retire? Maybe not James Ward-Prowse, but if I was Sterling and you're taking the piss, He's not out through injury. He's not out through like form or whatever. Like, you're just taking the piss. So if I was Sterling, I'd be like, you know what? Nah, I'm rejecting your call up because you have to have some level of respect. So as soon as you pick Harry Maguire and Calvin Phillips, all your other excuses, all your other reasoning, it goes out the window for not picking all these players. Like, it just goes out the window. So, yeah, that's that. Chelsea losing, I'm not even gonna touch on that because I'm not surprised, to be honest. As well as they started, they are a young squad and they've got that in them. I think though, people were talking about with as much money as they spent, they should be title contenders. And do you know what? I hear that. You cannot spend that amount of money on a team that should already be challenging or be up there and not be title contenders. So that doesn't get spoken about enough. Do you get what I'm saying? Because no other team can come and spend $1 billion in the space of a year and not be considered title challengers. So I think Chelsea do get away with murder. People have low expectations from them. And yes, they have a young squad and whatnot, but the reality is they've bought pretty much most of most of the best players from in and around Europe. They should be doing better. And I know the season is still early, but we should have those expectations of them. Champions League should be the least of what they achieve. Really and truly, they should be pushing the top two. Yeah, Saka obviously won Young Player of the Year. He won England's Player of the Year. I think Saka, he's at that point where he's literally just he's winning like individual records, individual awards on a regular. And I think now it's time that he really starts delivering. Obviously, it's not just him. It's not just down to him. But he's at that time where now it'll be good to start adding the team awards. What else was there? I don't know, guys, but let me know. Like I said, I've got a podcast in the cut waiting for you Monday, Tuesday. While I'm away, I might record. I'm just trying to relax, to be honest. That's why I at least want to give you at least one. So I'm going to try to put out a couple more clips on my shorts. And yeah, guys, just let me know what you think about the whole Jadon Sancho situation, about the England situation. As it stands, Jadon Sancho isn't going to Saudi, because I know he was linked with there, but he ain't going there. But yeah, just let me know what you think. Even Jordan Henderson being in the squad, like, come on. Anyway. But yeah, guys, I'm out.